Often when creating artwork inside of Illustrator, you may need to draw arrows. In previous versions of Illustrator, there was an Add Arrowheads effect that you can use to apply arrowheads to the end of any path. However, now in Illustrator CS5, Adobe has made arrowheads an attribute of the stroke itself. Not only is it now easier to apply arrowheads to strokes inside of Illustrator, they're more powerful as well. Let's take a look. I'll start by opening up my stroke panel and dragging it out here onto the screen. Let me go ahead and close this for now. And you can see that inside the stroke panel itself, in the expanded view, I have a section here called arrowheads. If I draw any path, I'll just simply draw a line right here across my page. I'll tap D for default. That sets my stroke back now to just a one-point stroke. And with that path selected, I'll come here where it says arrowheads and choose for the right side to add arrow 1. In fact, you can see in this pop-up that there are many different settings and arrows that you can apply simply by scrolling through this list. You can choose to add arrowheads on either the right side or the left side of the path as well, or more specifically, the start and the end of the path. Using the scale values here, you can adjust the size of the arrowhead at the end of the path. For example, on this end of the path here, I may choose to scale this up 200%. Notice now that the arrowhead is much bigger on this side of the path than it is on this one. Clicking this lock icon here inside of the stroke panel will lock the proportion between those values. There are two other important settings when applying arrowheads that appear here inside of the stroke panel. The first one is this button, which allows you to swap the arrowheads on either end of the path. The other setting here, called Align, determines at which point of the path the arrowhead is applied. To better illustrate this, I'm going to tap Command R or Control R on my keyboard to bring up my rulers, and I'll drag out a ruler so that the anchor point of my path lines up just with that ruler. Now let's zoom in on this area right here. My path ends right here, and as you can see right now where the Align setting is set to, the end of my arrowhead matches the end of the path. However, when I select this path, and I choose the other Align option, you can see that right now my path stays here, but the arrowhead extends beyond the end of the path. This is simply a design preference. There may be times when you want the arrowhead to extend beyond the end of the path, or to meet the end of the path exactly. If you'd like to remove an arrowhead from one end of a path, simply go to the arrowhead pop-up and choose None. One of the really nice things about this arrowhead setting is how easy they are to apply in a creative setting. For example, I'm going to zoom out and focus on just this one area here of the watering can. If I move my stroke panel over here to the side, I can select these three paths and very quickly add arrowheads to the ends of those paths. Now obviously in this case here, those arrowheads are much too big, so I can reduce the size of those arrowheads to something like maybe 25%. To get more creative, I can choose from a variety of different arrowheads. For example, maybe in this case, I simply want a little hand that's kind of pointing in that direction. So if you're in Illustrator CS5 and you're looking for the Add Arrowheads effect, as you've seen in previous versions of Illustrator, but you can't find it, don't worry, you'll find the far more powerful and easy to apply arrowhead feature right in the stroke panel.